how do you think someone could reframe a layoff to move with energy and purpose into their job search?
Sure. Well, I can actually speak from my own experience. I had been working for a startup in the kind of late 2000s. I'd been there for about 7 years. I'd scaled the company pretty rapidly, hired a fairly large team under me, and worked with them to kind of create a role that they'd never had before that I was able to move into because I wanted growth opportunities. I wanted to take on new responsibilities. And unfortunately, as the company hit some hiccups and had to shrink, because I'd kind of advocated for creating this new role for myself, I kind of worked myself out of a job because I had a team that was doing what I had been doing. And I was more expensive and I was kind of extra. I was doing special projects and working on things that I was really passionate about, but it wasn't a role that was essential to the operations of the company. And so I ultimately got laid off after 7 years and really helping to build that company. And that was really rough for me. I love that company. It was my first real, leadership job in a company. And I was so heartbroken when my role got eliminated. And the CEO told me, look, you're leaving on great terms. It's a financial decision. This is not about your performance. And he said all the things that I needed to hear, but it still didn't make it feel any less impactful because I had bought a house a couple years earlier. I had a mortgage. I had a safety net. I had family that could support me, but it was scary because I was a single person. I had a mortgage to pay. I had to, pay for my benefits. And I'd never been in that position before. And so for me, I definitely went through some really rough, just time questioning, what do I want to do next? How am I going to navigate this transition? And for me, I had to kind of take a step back and recognize that this was an opportunity. I had built a career in a place from being fairly junior, coming in and learning a lot on the job. And during that 7 year period, I grew a lot, I learned a lot, but the people I worked with had seen me experience that growth. They remembered me from when I was pretty green, a new manager. And so as I moved into my next role that I eventually got within a few months, I was shocked by my experience at that new company because I was the senior director of HR. I moved into a great role that was a growth opportunity for me that allowed me to take on new responsibility. And I couldn't believe how differently people viewed me because I
Mm,
came in as an expert.
mm,
I was farther along in my career. I had learned a lot. And it hit me that, there's such a benefit to kind of restarting your work experience once you've gained more experience. And so for me, that was actually a great opportunity. And every time I've kind of transitioned in my career, I've recognized that I gain kind of
mhm.
clout and credibility, and I'm viewed in a different way because I'm coming in with more experience and more expertise. And
Mhm.
so I viewed that transition as something that broke me out of a place where I was kind of, I was viewed with less credibility to a place where I came in with a lot more validity to what I said in terms of how the team listened to me and respected me.